Hello everyone, my name is the Thunderbolt Gamer, and today, well, this video is going to be very different from what I actually originally had in mind. You see, when I first started this video, I first wanted to make a video deciding about which was better, either Overwatch or Paladins. Being myself a player who had played Overwatch for over 2 years, and pretty much the same for Paladins, I thought I would finally answer the question by studying certain facts of each of the games and comparing them. The two versions that I was comparing was the two most recent versions which are out, not the PTRs. However, after 3 failed attempts of trying to record this video, and me having to recite the lines that I had written down over and over again, I finally started to come to realize something, which was, why this massive fuss over it? In my opinion, both these games are extremely good games, and massively entertaining in both their separate rights. And yet, for some reason, there is this massive argument that one's a copy of the other, one is boring, one's just another rip-off of a previous game that was out over 10 years ago. And in my personal opinion, both of these games do stuff which is right, and both of these games do stuff which is wrong. So, why? Well, let's have we go over some of the details during these games. My personal opinion, I prefer Paladins over Overwatch. Why? Well, first of all, Paladins is a lot cheaper, costing about $30 if you were to buy all the heroes and unlock, just to buy all the heroes. Whereas in Overwatch, you're paying somewhere from about $70 to $90 just to get the game. And what do you really get for this money? Well, Paladins allows you to access about 32 heroes, and Overwatch, I believe it's at point nearly 28 heroes? I believe it's 28 heroes at this point. Both of these games, 3 different types of game modes which you play on. There is either Capture the Hill, there is Push the Payload, or Capture the Hill and Push the Payload. Not to mention, both these games have competitive and custom game modes available. In my opinion though, Paladins shines over Overwatch in this section because it has something which I like to call replayability. In my personal opinion, Paladins has more replayability because the heroes have a customizable class system. For those who have not played Paladins before, let me explain. Each Paladin hero has a deck of 20 cards. These cards buff your skills in certain areas, allowing you to increase the maximum duration or potency of a certain skill in a certain area. Meaning you can build your hero how you want to play the hero, not just how the hero is designed. Now obviously you can't completely break a hero in certain all over the place. There is a limit to how much you can buff them in certain areas. But what this does allow, it allows creativity and mass replayability. I did some rough calculations, and for each Paladin hero, you could create 400 different classes. And to me, that's a massive win in one of these massive multi-online games. Because the 2 things, basically, that keep players coming back. 1, the replayability, and 2, changes done to the meta or changes done to heroes or either new heroes getting released. And yes, if you can count, that was actually 3 examples. So I apologize, I can't do math properly. But what about Overwatch? Well, I'm not going to write it just off yet. Overwatch, in my opinion, has much more appealing graphics. The maps are more well designed and have little textures and little hints and all among there, which make it a really nice game. And also, the game, in my opinion, is more well polished than Paladins. For those who don't understand what I mean about this, I mean all the tiny details they give to all the individual characters. Have you ever noticed that when you're not moving your character, you have an idle animation? Now most of us barely ever stop moving because, well, we don't want to get shot. But if you do stay still for a second, each of the characters like to fiddle with something, whether it be their weapon or just twitch a little bit. This allows you to see their body language, how they actually are as a person, and not just having to watch the cinematics to try and get an understanding of what they or how they are. Not to mention, in my opinion, that Overwatch has a much better comp system than Paladins. Well, when I mean system, I guess correct term I should use is gameplay. In Overwatch, the competitive system is exactly like standard. You know how you're doing your quick play, only difference is you earn points. Whereas in Paladins, you get to ban 2 heroes that the enemy team cannot use, and they can ban 2 heroes from the enemy team. Now, obviously this could make the game a lot more interesting, but it can also swing the game extremely hard in certain areas, and if there is a very unexperienced team, well, they're gonna get smashed. There's nothing they can really do about it. However, when it comes to the overall competitive filter, Paladins wins in this area. If you don't understand what I mean by this, a filter is what is the requirements you must have in order to enter the game mode. Whereas in Overwatch, you only have to be level 25. Whereas in Paladins, it allows you can only enter the game once you are level 25 and you have at least 2 hours on 2 heroes on each of the 5 classes. Now, what does this stop? This stops something called one-trick smurfs. For those who don't know what this means, basically a one-trick smurf is someone who only plays one character. That is it. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad. In fact, they could be an extremely good player at that character. But what happens if someone else takes that character and refuses to give that other person the character? Well, what ends up happening is it's basically your team with 5 players and the enemy team with 6. You're going to have a dead player who can barely contribute to your team, and this is a massive downside of it. Whereas in Paladins, it eliminates that entirely by forcing players to learn how to play different characters from different classes, meaning they can bend to different roles. In my opinion, this is a really good system, and a system that should be included into many other games that have mass competitive gameplay. It would increase and, in my opinion, help the player-based system a lot. However, Overwatch does have something which Paladins doesn't have, and that was the recently added endorsement system. Now, for those who don't understand, the endorsement system is, after a game, your teammates can vote for other members of their team, or even the enemy team. I don't know why you would ever want to vote for the enemy team, but you can vote for your teammates for certain pro things they did. For example, shot caller or being a good leader, being a respectful and helpful teammate, for being a supporting and I forgot what the last part is. Anyway, it's supporting in something else roles. Allowing people to vote these increases your endorsement level in certain areas, allowing to see people what this player might actually be like. And to be fair, this endorsement system has worked because it has dropped the level of toxicity in the game by a massive 40% since its release since the last patch. Good on you, Blizzard. Finally, you've added something in which removes toxicity besides you just having to censor things. In my opinion, this is a lot better than having to forcefully ban players for foul language. This makes players must play respectful, they must act their most proper and dignified way. This, in my opinion, is a massive thumbs up. So, what am I trying to say here? Apart from the fact that I like Paladins over Overwatch. Well, in my opinion, we just need to stop the bitching. Far out, guys. Most of us are grown-ups or in our late teens. I mean, yes, there are some which are younger, but far out. For us who are older, let's set the right example straight. You can play which one of these games, and no one is really gonna care. That is your choice. If you want to play Overwatch, go play Overwatch. If you want to play Paladins, go play Paladins. They're both amazing games in their rights. Both games have loving creators who have put their time and effort and soul into these games for you guys to enjoy, and you should enjoy them. Don't feel bad that you're playing a game just because it's not the most biggest, newest thing out there and everyone's saying, oh, you're not cool, or oh, you're weird for not playing this and you're playing that. Who cares, guys? It's a game. You enjoyed in the end. So, I hope you've kind of enjoyed this little bit of a rant I've had. This has just been something which has been building up on my chest for quite some time, and, well, even though it was quite different from what I originally had in store, in my opinion, it's still something that needed to be said to the community. Now then, before I sign off, I want to say thank you to a very special person of mine who helped make this video. His name is Oobidoobi, and he is an artist on the website DeviantArt. He is the man who drew the thumbnail for this video, and in my opinion, he did a top job. For those of you who want to check out his artwork, I am leaving a link in the description below, and I'm leaving, I believe I can leave the website address on the screen at the bottom of the monitor for you all there as well. So guys, I hope you've all enjoyed this. I'm sorry as well It's why I haven't been uploading so recently. The main thing is I've just been tired and I just needed a bit of a break, and this video actually took a lot longer and ended up, as I said, quite different from what I really had in store. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you all in the next one. This is Thunderbolt Gamer signing out. Peace.